Hey you guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Kayla Salenza. If you're not, welcome back. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be going over my stretching warm-up routine. I actually have got a lot of DMs and comments about this on TikTok recently, so I figured I would make a video and kind of just show you guys exactly what I do. Before I get into that, I kind of just want to go over what stretching is, the different types of stretching, the benefits, why it's important, all of that good stuff, because I know, especially for me, stretching is it's a bad habit. It's something that I've had to put into my routine and really work on. A lot of the time I don't stretch. Yeah, it's really bad. I'm really good when it comes to warming up. It's more so like stretching afterwards. Your girl has to work on it. Specifically for today though, I'm going to be talking about my warm-up stretches, not my cool-down stretches. So it's just going to be what I do before my workouts. First question, what is stretching? Stretching is basically flexing and extending your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, your joints, just to relieve, that tension and pressure. As well, stretching helps improve flexibility. And this is important because you need to have some sort of flexibility when it comes to weightlifting. If you are tight, if you have tight hip flexors, you're like me, you need to work on that because that's going to help you with something such as, your squat depth. So I'll stick with my example of hip flexors, but if I'm not stretching that and warming it up before, I squat, do legs, anything like that, eventually over time, it's gonna, one, get more tight, and two, it's just gonna become stiff and make it even worse than it already is. And when it comes to stretching, this is something that you need to put into your routine and do it daily or, super consistently. And I say that specifically for the reason, one, it's obviously important, but two, if you just stretch once a month, it's not gonna really do anything. You're not just gonna stretch one time and be like, oh my God, I feel amazing. My hip flexors have completely opened up. That's actually not the case. It's something that you have to work towards. It's probably taken me 6 months to improve my hip flexors, the flexibility, and just strengthening them through these kinds of stretching exercises to help my squat depth. Now the second main question is, what are the benefits of stretching? I feel like I've kind of touched on it already, but first and foremost, you can perform your exercises and your weightlifting form and just exercises, you can execute them more safely and properly. The second benefit I kind of touched on, it improves your flexibility. It also decreases your muscle tension. Stretching also helps, circulation through your body, which kind of in turn leads to another one, which is it helps improve muscle pain. And then some other additional benefits include better posture, preventing injury, which is obviously really important when we're lifting heavy, improving athletic performance, which again is important for weightlifting, and a huge one that applies to me personally and probably you also, but it helps improve back pain. The third main question is, what are the different types of stretching? Because there are two different types, and you're probably most familiar with the first one, which is static stretching. Static stretching, in the most simplest terms, is stretching without movement. So that's what you would know as holding an exercise for 10-15 seconds. So say like this or like this. Now static stretching I'm not going to talk about too much in this video, because static stretching, which a lot of people don't know, you should be doing this after you work out. A lot of people think that you should be doing it before, but that is not the case. There's actually a lot of research and studies out there that say static stretching before a workout actually, decreases power, strength, and that kind of stuff. The whole point of static stretching is more so to cool down and, help the effects of stiffness or muscle pain or muscle aches after you were working out. The topic of today's video is number 2, which is dynamic stretching. This is what you should be doing before you work out. This is what I'm going to be showing you, my dynamic stretching routine for upper body days and lower body days. It is taking stretches through a full range of motion. So it's movement exercises or movement stretches. So typically dynamic stretches are not held for a certain amount of time because it's a constant movement. It's not that you're holding it there. Now, why do we do dynamic stretching before our workout? workout. It helps increase your core temperature, it improves flexibility, it gets your muscles warmed up and working, ready to go for those working sets and working weightlifting sets. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna show you guys now, but basically dynamic stretching I do for about 5 to 10 minutes every single day before my workout, and let's get into it. All right, now for what you've been waiting for, the actual exercises. So first, we are going to start with upper body day. This is what I do on every upper body day, and what I show you for lower body day is exactly what I do for lower body day as well. So as you can see, I'm using a long resistance band. I got this off of Amazon. I think it was like 18 or 20 bucks. I will link it down below for you. This is going to be your best friend. I think everybody should have one. Buy one, keep it in your gym bag, and you will use it every single time for your upper body dynamic stretching. So as you can see, I'm just doing a range of different exercises. I was doing some shoulder circles, basically just opening them up. I was doing behind the back lat pull downs. And as you can see, for most of the exercises, I'm holding the resistance band at a shoulder width position. Now here you can see I'm not using the resistance band. I'm just trying to open my shoulders up a little bit, stretch them out, just going side to side, moving them around. I was doing a little bit of arm circles. This is really important because you're going to be using your upper body and you want things to be warmed up. You don't want to just start going right into the heavy lifting and you're going to pull a shoulder muscle, a back muscle, a chest muscle, whatever it is. And I don't have a set number of like sets or reps that I do. I kind of just do it till it feels good, till I feel warmed up. So nothing like set in stone, just until you feel really good. I even, go over here and I use a little bar just to stretch my shoulders, my back out, and my chest out. I like to twist my back a lot, just getting open and external rotation going, and just warming up. And then as you can see, I'm doing some wrist circles, taking off my shirt because we're going to get started. Okay, and now we're moving on to lower body warm-ups. I feel like this is what people ask me the most about, and this is what I probably spend most of my time doing versus upper body. So what I mean by that is like upper body warm-up. Usually I spend like 3 minutes, maybe not even. As you guys just saw, it was pretty short and sweet. Lower body, I would say I spend at least 10 minutes warming up. So as you can see, I'm doing a bunch of hip swings. So I was kicking side to side, I was kicking front to back, and then I was doing front to like side-ish where I'm like opening up my hips. I did 10 reps of each. So that was about 30 reps, and then I switch legs. So now I'm doing the left leg and I do the exact same thing. I usually it's almost like upper body. I don't really count. More so I do for leg day. Usually I do about 10 reps, but again, I just do it until I feel good, until I feel warmed up. I have really, really, really tight hip flexors, so that's why I spend a lot of time warming up. Now, as you can see here, I forget what this is called, but it's almost like a frog pose. This feels so good on your hips and your hip flexors. I cannot speak. And as you can see, I was like kind of going side to side there. Now I'm doing this side to side thing. I don't know what it's called, but you probably see a lot of people actually doing this as a static stretch, but the difference is that I'm moving, so I'm going side to side, and as well as you can see, every time I go on one side, the opposite side, I'm lifting my foot up onto my heel. Now I move into more hip swings, so I'm doing from inwards to out, and then now as you can see I'm going outwards in. So I do this on one leg and then I switch and I do it on the other leg, which you're not going to see because you don't need to see it twice. Then after I move into some dynamic lunges, so this is really good also for like your hamstrings, your hips as well. This actually helps with ankle mobility and flexion. So as you can see, I was doing a little bit closer and then I moved my leg out. Now I'm like just moving my leg inwards and outwards, again, just working on those hip flexors. And then I like to put my arm on the inside and reach out. This actually helps you open up your back as well, which feels really nice. And then as you can see, I just switch and I do it on the other leg. I actually do this about 2 or 3 times. I switch back and forth until it feels really good. Now as you can see, I'm back in that little frog bob thingy that we don't know what it's called. If somebody knows, please let me know in the comments.
But as you can see, I'm like putting my knee down on one side. This feels really good on the hips. Again, you're gonna have to take a shot every time I say hips because that's all I'm saying. Now I'm doing this 90-degree hip mobility. So basically you have your legs at 90 degrees, both of them, and then you're moving side to side, making it a little bit harder. I put my hands up. This also helps your core. And then back in that frog stance, and I'm just kind of going up and down. This helps with squatting and getting depth.